Yeah, hey everyone. So yesterday we have discussed some of the points towards our introduction part. So today our agenda is to go in the schema side. So whatever the schema we have in Salesforce, so all these things we need to learn. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and let's see what all questions we can cover it as a part of schema interview. Hope my screen is visible. So initially, when we enter in the interview side, so definitely we should know what all additions we have in production and what all additions we are having in the sandboxes. So first of all, what is production and what is sandbox? So interviewer can ask this question: what is difference between production and sandbox? If you are a fresher, definitely if you are a like experienced person, then you must be know about sandbox and production. So production is nothing; it's a live environment. So where if I will give you example, if you have a Flipkart and Amazon, right? So that is a production directly where we are interacting the user as a kind of end user is interacting by the any of the like standard web framework. So that is a kind of one of the production. So production is a live environment. So if anyone is changing on the live environment directly, so definitely that might be impacted on the user's finance data, right? Because if I'm in the production directly and I'm going to change anything, let's say like anything I'm changing, let's say color, any product color, any product line item colors or something, let's say mobile chargers. Client is asking, so it should be in black color, but we are giving the white color. Means mistakenly we have changed it. So definitely that would impact on our finance terms as well, right? So that's why we have a production and we have sandbox. Production behave like a parent, so sandbox behave like a child. So one production can have multiple child, means multiple sandboxes. So now if we are having a let's say sandbox, 10 sandbox, 20, 50 sandboxes, it doesn't mean always we'll have a more than one production. Okay, so we might have a one production and we might have a 50 sandboxes. Okay, there might be a chance. Okay, so now if I will talk about a sandbox mean to say it's a kind of one of the testing environment. And in this testing environment, so always we do our work, we do our development, we do our testing, and once we are comfortable that we have done everything completely, then we will deploy that thing to the production, right? So always keep in mind, sandbox is nothing, it's a testing environment, and production is nothing, it's a kind of live environment. So whenever work come, so definitely you will go to the sandbox, not in production. So now we have some additions in Salesforce. So we can have a developer additions, we have a professional edition, essential edition, and enterprise and unlimited. So these are the additions. If it were asking this question, so you should know all these additions. So developer editions is nothing basically. So whenever we go to the free editions, let's say if I have created free editions for my learning purpose, for my personal work, I will go to the developer edition. So if I will go to the professional edition, so definitely professional edition is nothing. It's a kind of one of the paid version, but it's quite low budget. Means it is not that much costly. But why do we use professional? Why don't we use unlimited, enterprise, and essential? Right? So professional edition is basically we can do our all the admin stuff over there. So if there is a requirement to write a apex class code or some lwc code or something, so that time we will not be able to achieve our scenario. Only admin things we can do in the professional edition. So similarly, we are having the essential edition, and enterprise edition and unlimited edition is working for the kind of mid-level. Enterprise is used for mid-level business, and unlimited edition is used for the kind of large, like whatever the, if we are having a scope, more scope over there in the business, that time we'll use a unlimited edition. So now let me show you where we can find out the additions. If you can see my screen, so these are so first of all we need to go to the company information in the quick find box, and here we can find we have a enterprise edition, right? So this is enterprise edition, and we can say, and these are the instance for our enterprise edition. And this is my production. So this is my production, and if I will go another row, so this is my developer row, so this is my developer edition. Okay, so developer edition is nothing, it's a free editions. And from company information you can find each and everything. Let's say you want to find it out your personal company personal related things in the company information, so you can find it everything. So company address you can find, so when this company fiscal period start, it's you can find phone number and everything, means which time zone this company works, and what is the storage, basically how much storage you have consumed. We have two types of storage in Salesforce. We have data storage, file storage. So this is also one of the interview question. Basically anyone can ask you a question, tell me from where we can find it out the storage. You can say we can go to company information, we can find it out. So there is quite important things. Let's say you want to enable multiple currency in Salesforce. Interviewer is asking you what is multiple currencies. Multiple currency is nothing, so where it's a kind of one of the exchange rate comparison. Basically let's take example, we are having one USD, we are having INR. So what is current exchange rate is going on? So let's say 82 rupees equal to like $1 or something. So accordingly, if I will enable this checkbox, that time this calculation we can do with the auto box. We no need to do any development or something for that scenario. Okay. So another important thing is we can find out all the licenses in the company information page on the single page only. Whatever the license we have, we can have a user license, we can have feature license, permission set license, and everything from this page. And we can find it out how many are remaining and how many has been used. Okay. So company information gives us like lots of features basically, so we can have multiple things like on the company information. Second question is what is Sandbox? Already I mentioned. So type of Sandbox is we can have DAV Pro, partial copy, and full copy. So definitely anyone can ask, this is a basic question, what is Sandbox? Is Sandbox is nothing, it's a kind of replica of the production and it's a testing environment. So it always if I will try to log in Sandbox, it would be start from test.salesforce.com. Okay, and production will be start with login.salesforce.com. So Sandbox has DAV Pro, partial copy, and full copy. DAV mean to say whenever we have some works or something. So for lower business, we can work with the DAV. And if we are having a DAV Pro, so that is also kind of lower version, but it's a kind of storage difference. If I will go with the DAV, so that consume nearby 200 MB storage, but DAV Pro consume nearby kind of 1 GB storage, and partial copy 5 GB, and full copy same as production. Same as production mean to say if we are having 10 GB production storage, then definitely we can have 10 GB in the Sandbox as well. So our another question is what is sand I mean to say in Salesforce, so what all things we can achieve using Sandbox. So whenever we have some any kind of development work, so we can basically directly work there and we can do our testing and we can deploy to the production, not directly in production. Definitely go with the Sandbox. So another question is like, what is mean by refresh? Refresh. We sometimes we say we are refreshing the Sandbox. So refresh mean to say we have production, we have Sandbox. Let's say I got one work. I'm working from last 2 months in a company, and on the 2 month we are having nearby 10 developers. All are working on the same Sandbox. So same Sandbox, someone is doing their own POC, a proof of concept. Someone, there are some freshers, they are doing their own Apex class only for testing purpose, and there is no use for that classes. It's a kind of irrelevant data we have filled it out over there. So there is no use for that one. So what we will do, so we want to clean up that Sandbox. We want those things which is required for us to for testing and for deployment, right? So why do we keep extra things in Sandbox? We want to clean up extra things. So for that, what we will do, we will go to the production and there is a kind of Sandbox button. So accordingly we can just like refresh the Sandbox from the production. So now let me show you how can we show this one. So let me just stop my sharing for a time being. I'll go to my production and I'll show you how can we refresh it. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen in a minute. Just 1 second. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. So here we have Sandbox. So this is my production. So in this production, I'll go to Sandbox in Quick Find Box. So if I'll go to the Sandbox, then we can find out what all sandboxes we are using. Okay. So as I mentioned, production is parent. We can under one production we can have multiple sandboxes. Similarly, we are having multiple sandboxes. So if I want to refresh, let's say these all are my sandboxes. If I want to refresh this sandbox, so what will happen? So whatever the sandbox I have, we are having multiple users working in the company. So definitely, whatever the latest data from production, whatever the we have in production, then that those things would be migrated to the sandbox, and whatever the extra things that would be completely erased, completely deleted. Okay. So similar to that, we are having all the sandboxes. If I want to refresh, I can refresh it, but there is a few differences. So if I have a developer sandbox, you can see we have developer sandbox, developer pro, partial copy, and full copy, right? So in this one, so free of cost we got many licenses for developer org. So we are having few more licenses, less licenses for developer pro, and the full and partial copy, basically you need to spend some money on that. Okay. If your business is on smaller basis, like it's not a kind of scope is not that much, so you can go with the developer org or developer pro. It's depend on the requirement. So if you don't need that much storage, let's say you don't have 5 lakh record, 10 lakh records or TB records, definitely we can run our business with the help of developer pro. We don't need partial copy and full copy. Okay. So in this scenario, we can do refresh our sandbox. If I'll iterate the same thing again, so I mean to say, let's say we are having a production, we are having 50 things we are having in the production, and we are having 70 things we are having in the sandbox. If I will refresh the sandbox from production, then it means we are migrating that 50 whatever we have in production to the sandbox. Whatever the complete 70 things we have, so that would be deleted completely, and new 50 things would be migrated. Okay. That is mean by the sand refreshment. So now we are having template available in sandboxes. Template mean to say, when we deploy the sandbox, so let's say if I'll create a sandbox or if I want to refresh the sandbox, so I will get one option for template. Template mean to say, when I if I have a developer sandbox, so we have a 200 storage here, and in production we have 1 TB storage. Okay. So 200, if I will refresh the production sandbox from production, then 1 TB storage cannot be fitting 200 MB, right? So for that, Salesforce is not giving us an option in developer or for template. It means we are doing the data migration as well. Whenever we have metadata that we are migrating, parallel to that, we are just migrating the data as well. So that we cannot do in terms of the developer sandbox, not even developer pro sandbox as well, because we have only 1 GB storage. So, but in terms of partial copy and full copy, we have a template. Template mean to say, whenever we refresh the sandbox, we will get one template. What all object we can select to migrate the data to sandbox from production. Okay, let me show you. So how can we check it? Let's say if I'll go to the partial copy, I'll click on the sandbox, and let's say I'll go to this, and accordingly you can see we are having a sandbox template. Okay. So now here we have selected all this, we are having all these objects, and we can just click on create button. That time it would be a refresh, and it would be auto activated. Okay. So these are the objects which we are just sending a data from production to sandbox data. I'm not saying metadata. Okay. So now what is difference between data and metadata? Data mean to say we are having a records in Salesforce we have. That is data. Whatever the objects, fields, any validation rule, formula fields, lookup master, anything, whatever related to functionality, let's say it's Apex class or LWC, anything, that is metadata. Whatever the records data we have in Salesforce object, so that is records, means it's data. Okay. So now we'll go to the next question. So we are having a, what all are objects we have, standard and custom. So I think that's a kind of quite simple. So I'll not go to that much. So now we are having a question. What is the auto index build in Salesforce? So we can have auto index mean to say which records are auto incrementing plus one. Plus one mean to say, let's say if I'll create one record, so we'll have a one record ID on the top, right? So let's say if I will go to my any of the object, let's say if I'll go to the account object. On account object, we will have a ID. You can say this ID, right? If I will create new record on account object, I'll have increment by one somewhere in this record. Okay, might be it is A now here. It would be B then, right? That would be C on third record, fourth D, right? Similar to that, it would be auto incremented. It's auto indexed, mean to say auto incremented. Okay, so now we are having record type id that is also created new, basically plus one. It happens created it always be like it would not go to the past, it always go in the future. If I will create a record now today, so it would be like our current time, right? So now if I will create another record, then it would be incremented by anything. It might be plus one or might be anything. So definitely it will not go to like minus, it always go with the plus only, right? So similarly we are having last modified date. It whenever let's say if I'll have any records which I have modified yesterday and I'm modifying today, definitely it would be incremented, right? Similar to that, we are having a name mean to say we have auto number in Salesforce. We can create a auto number. Why we can migrate that name, standard name, to the auto number, and that would be incremented. We have a record id, as I already mentioned. We are having this in the url. We can have a 15 or 18 digit ids, so that is our record id. And similar to that, we are having an external id. So when we create a field, so we can create an external id, let's say for phone number. We can have an email or name, so we can just create an external id for that. That will also be auto indexed. So now what all things we can check in the company information? I think this is already covered. So we have a multi-currency features and all. We have covered everything, license information and everything, right? So now we have yeah. So we are having an external ID filled in Salesforce. So in external ID, we have. So what is external ID first of all? So this is quite important question. So interviewer will definitely ask you what is external ID, and if you are an experienced person or might be you are a fresher, so it is required to know like what is external ID. External ID doesn't. So it means we have a field and we have one of the third party. We have Salesforce and we have third party, let's say Oracle. Oracle is creating a record in their system and that record is flowing to Salesforce. Let's say they have created account record in their system and now we got this record in Salesforce. So that is sync now, like their record and our record both are in the sync. Now tomorrow they want to update that record, right? So we should have some unique thing. Now we have a 19. So record name is 19. They have sent us the 50 records name as 19, right? So now tomorrow they want to update first record which they have sent, like which was the first indexed. Okay, they want to update those record, but all names are 19, right? So it's very tough for them to understand which record we need to update, because name would be 50 and we need to update one record only, right? So that time there is a field external id, so which will play the role for updating that record. External id is nothing, it's a kind of unique identifier. So with the help of that unique identifier, so we will keep that external ID in both the system, and with the help of that, we will find it out the external ID and we can update the record. If third party is updating their record, so that external ID we will send to the Salesforce, and if it will come to the Salesforce, we will query those record which is a unique external ID with 19 record, so that we can update it, right? So that is the external id, and with the help of external id we can update the records as well in Salesforce, like using data loader. We can have a Salesforce inspector or anything, means we can use the external id in that scenario. And can we delete the field in Salesforce, and can we undelete that fields? Definitely we can delete and undelete that one. So we can, if I'll show you the example, let's say we are having a company information. One second, let me see if I have any extra object here. Let's say credit package or something. So in this one, if I will create a field, so these are my fields. I will create a new field here. Let's say I'm creating any of the any text field or something. I would say phone number. Okay, I have created this field. Now what I will do, I will just delete this field. Okay, I'll go there, I'll click on the delete button and I'll delete this field. Now, how can I undelete this one? So, hope you all might be aware, but yeah, we have the delete field button here. So, we'll go there and accordingly we can just erase, like undelete this field. Okay, make sure after 15 days this field would not be, you might not be able to undelete, but make sure it would be keep in the recycle bin within a 15 days. After that, it would be erased, permanently deleted automatically. Okay, so now we have what ID and who ID. So this is also very important thing. So we have task and event object in Salesforce. So task and event has a parent. Like if you go to the any of the object, let's say if I'll go to if I have any reports, I don't think so we have any object reports. So I'll go to any of, let's say, opportunity. So each and every records we have task and events. We can say activities. Okay. So in this one we have if it is not there, we had to just we can drag and drop. Let me go to another object. Yeah, we are having activity here. Okay, each and every object we have activity. We can say we can have a task and event. So if this activity or this task is under this account, so if I want to link programmatically this activity under this account, okay, so which lookup field ID we can use? We can use its what ID. Okay, we can use what ID. If I want to query who ID, if I want to link, let's say we have a contact and with activity, we can say it's who ID. So how can we differentiate? It's quite confusing for us. So we can do one thing. We can say whatever the IDs we have related to object. So that is what ID, and whatever the objects we have related to people, let's say contact, leads. Contact, we can say any person name. Lead, we can say any person is coming, any business is coming to our system, it means it's a person name, right? So both are kind of related to person, so we can say it's a who ID. Okay, in task and events, keep in mind, so we have who ID and what ID only in the task and event only. So now we are having a relationship. We can have master detail relationship, lookup relationship. Both are one to many relationships, right? One parent can have multiple childs. So in master detail relationship, it's quite simple. So we cannot create a child records without having a parent because it's a required field. And we can, whatever the security we have on the parent object, that would be inherited to the child object. If my OWD is private for parent object, then child OWD would itself be the private. So that by this is a by default functionality we have. Okay, so now we can have a cascade delete here. So if I will delete the parent object, child will also be get deleted. Let's say if we are having a one parent, we have 20 childs, so my all the 20 would also be deleted when I will delete my one parent object. So we have a roll-up summary. Roll-up summary we can always implement on the parent object for the child object. So if we have a account object or we have a opportunity object, so account and opportunity, we can create a roll-up summary or account object for the opportunity, and we can count maximum, minimum, or sum of the child object. Okay. So one more thing, we can have we cannot create the this master relationship between the two standard objects. Okay. But we can create between one standard and one custom, but make sure that standard object should be the parent object and custom object should be the child object. On that time we can create a this master relationship, and we can have up to like two master data relationship we can create. We have a total 40 relationship we can do, but in overall we have a 40, but if we can consider two is master detail, but 38 we can create in the lookup. So similarly, like lookup relationship, both are independently. If I will delete the parent, child will definitely not be deleted. And there is an optional field when we create a child record, then it's not compulsory that we are populating the parent or not. And definitely we cannot create a roll-up summary there. And we can create a there is the same scenario for us like in the master detail. So but here in the lookup relationship we can create a like relationship between the standard objects like lookup one. So here we have a many-to-many relationship. Many-to-many is nothing. So where we can have many items are connected with the many items. So standard examples for many-to-many relationship. So if you will go to the orders, under the order we are having an order line item. Under the product, if we are having a product, so we can have a product line item, or we can say opportunity line item, which is a junction object between the product and opportunity. Order line item is nothing, it's a kind of junction object between the product and order. Okay. So now we are having opportunity contact role, it's a junction object between the opportunity and contact. So these are my standard objects, it's a kind of examples. So interviewer can ask you, please give me any example for standard junction objects. Okay. And give me any example for custom junction object. So you can say, let's say as I mentioned in my slide, so we have a, sorry, yeah, so we have a classroom and we have a course and we are having a course offering. So we have a one parent object which is a classroom, and another parent object we have a course object, and in middle of that we are having a course offering. So now my course offering can be connected, like my classroom can be connected with multiple courses with the help of this course offering basically. And similarly course can be connected with multiple classes, classroom with the help of course offering. Okay. And make sure all would be the in the master relationship, it would not be the child one. But this is not specifically we have any kind of relationship, this is a custom relationship which we need to build. It is not, let's say when we create a relationship we have some data type or lookup or master similar to that we'll get for many to many. No, that we will not get it. Okay. So now, so I will go to the cascade relationship. So in this cascade relationship, so we have a relationship between account and contact. So cascade relationship is nothing, whenever I will delete the let's say cascade relationship is nothing, it's kind of when we delete the parent, then child will also be get deleted, right? It means cascade relationship. But here one important thing is, when interviewer will definitely ask you what is relationship between account and contact, and what is relationship between account and opportunity. So account contact both are cascade relationship, but it is not lookup, it is not master. If I will delete the account, contact will be deleted. And so when I will but we cannot create any roll up summary on account for the contact, we cannot create maximum, minimum, count or sum, right? So for that we need to go with this custom solution, might be flow builder or might be apex trigger. Okay. So now we cannot create a we can create a contact without account, right? It's an optional field when we create a contact, so it is not compulsory we need to populate the account value there. Okay. So these are the cascade relationship. Okay. Now we will go to the account and opportunity. We can create a roll up summary between account and opportunity, and when I will delete the account, opportunity will also be deleted, but it's an optional field. Okay. Both are little strange behavior, it's a kind of direct and indirect relationship. Okay. So this is all about the relationships, about your kind of, I would say, company information is quite important things, auto indexed, and your addition and sandboxes. So this is all about for today. If you guys have any question, if you need more videos on these topics, like if you know need on depth, or might be not kind of interview questions, you need kind of personal training, So please let me know. That would not be kind of paid one. It's a kind of completely free of cost. Okay, please let me know if you need any help. Thank you so much.